G'day and welcome. Put the kettle on, settle into your favourite chair. Let's take a proper trip back, shall we? Back before mobile phones the size of dinner plates and when dial-up meant your finger and a rotary dial. It was a time when business was done with a firm handshake and a man's word. Your plumber was Alf, who lived round the corner, drank at the same RSL, and if he fixed your leaky cap on a Tuesday, you'd pay him when you saw him at the shops on Friday. His invoice was a grubby note in your letterbox. Simple, trusted. You knew his family and he knew you wouldn't dob him in for the cashies.
But somewhere along the line, between the demise of the corner milk bar and the invention of the urgent pop-up notification, the rules changed. These days, it feels like you need a university degree in forensic accounting just to decipher a quote, and a law degree to understand the fine print. And for every honest Alf, there now seems to be a small army of smiling chancers in brand new work boots, rolling up in spotless youths with magnetic signs that fall off faster than their promises. They've got the lingo: substrate integrity, thermal efficiency, compliance codes. They speak in dire warnings and manufactured urgency. They're not just selling a service, they're selling a heart attack, and they're offering you the only miracle cure for a cash-only price, today only. Enter our protagonist, or antagonist, depending on your view. Let's call him Barry. Barry's not a roofer. Oh, he might have watched a few YouTube videos, but his real trade is in the theater of concern. His tools are a solemn shake of the head, a sharp intake of breath, and the phrase, "You are incredibly lucky I was passing by." He's been in this game for about 8 months, and business sadly has been brisk. And here, in number 42, is his hoped-for next customer. Marjorie, 78 years young, widow after 55 years of marriage to Ron, a chippy who could build anything from a birdhouse to a backyard pergola without ever needing a project manager. Marjorie's world is her garden, her Wednesday Arvo bowling league, her 5 grandkids whose photos cover her fridge, and the Geelong cats. She's a woman who has budgeted through recessions, negotiated with stubborn mechanics, and raised 3 boisterous boys without ever raising her voice. She possesses a quiet, steely wisdom and a BS detector calibrated over decades. It pings at door-to-door salesmen, overly complicated TV remotes, and anyone under 50 who calls her love a bit too quickly.
G'day there, love. Barry from Premium Roof Restorations. How are you this beautiful morning? Well enough, thank you. Can I help you? Actually, I might be able to help you. Just finished a big job a few streets over, the Henderson place, lovely people, and I couldn't help but notice your roof tiles from the road. Mind if I take a quick squiz? I've got a gut feeling.
The gut feeling, not a professional assessment, a gut feeling. It's personal, it's almost psychic, it's designed to bypass logic. See there? See the slight bowing on the battens under the tiles, and there, the moss growth in the valleys. That's not just cosmetic, love. That's water just waiting. It's sneaking in, slowly rotting the timber, compromising the whole structure. It's a silent killer.
Silent killer. Strong words. Previously used by Marjorie's doctor regarding her cholesterol, this immediately puts her on high alert. My Ron repointed that valley in '92, held through the '98 storms. Ah, bless him. They did their best with what they had back then, but standards have changed. Materials have improved. With the huge storm system they're forecasting for this weekend, well, I'd be worried about your ceiling collapsing. I'm talking a waterfall in your lounge room, right over the good lounge suites. The insurance won't cover it if they find it's pre-existing neglect.
Now, I've got all the materials on the truck. My next job isn't till Monday in Frankston. I could have my boys here this afternoon, seal the valleys, replace those dodgy battens, do a full antifungal treatment, do you a huge favour. Cash price, so we skip the GST paperwork nightmare. Let's call it
$3,400, a fraction of what a full roof replacement would cost you in 6 months.
The trifecta is complete. Imminent danger, limited time offer, cash discount. For many, it's overwhelming. The mind races. The good lounge suite, Ron's photo albums in the cupboard, the grandkids coming next week. Panic is a powerful sales tool. But Marjorie's face does something remarkable. It softens, not into fear, but into a kind of serene, curious smile. The smile of a chess player who has just seen her opponent's strategy laid bare. My, you are efficient. Ron could never get anything done that fast, always stopping for a cuppa and a chat. Time is money, love, and your safety is priceless. You're so right. Well, before we decide on this cash price, you'd better pop your details down for me. For my records, you understand. Ron was very particular about records. Let's start with your ABN, dear, and your business registration number, and your roofing practitioner license number. I think there's a new bit of paper for that these days, isn't there? The ABN, the Australian business number. To a scammer, it's like a vampire being shown a crucifix. It's traceable. It creates a paper trail that leads back to a real person or to a ghost. Requesting the specific license number is the next level move. It says, I know there are actual rules, and I know you need a specific ticket to play this game. The ABN? Yeah, of course. It's, on the side of the ute. I've got it in the office files, too. But for a small, urgent job like this, we don't usually get bogged down in all that. We're fully insured, of course. I'm sure you are. It's just that my eldest, David, he's a Sparky over in Ballarat. He drills it into me. Mom, no ABN, no license number, no job. Says it separates the eagles from the other birds. He'd never let me hear the end of it if I didn't ask. Look, I totally respect that. It's smart. It's just, with this storm coming, we're really up against it. I can give you a written quote with the ABN later, after we secure the roof. Oh, no rush on my account. The weather's been wrong before. Remember 75? They said it'd be a drought summer. Then it rained for 40 days, flooded the shed. Ron had to build a new one. She gazes off nostalgically. He was a chippy, you know, a real tradesman. His hands were like maps, all calluses and nicks. Yours are very clean, Barry. Barry instinctively shoves his hands in his pockets. The delay tactic is an art form. Marjorie isn't just stalling, she's reframing the entire conversation. She's invoking Ron, the ghost of real tradesmen past. She's moving the discussion from Barry's script of urgency to her world of memory and measured judgment. And that observation about the hands? A masterstroke, a subtle, devastating comparison. Marjorie, brightening, changing subject entirely. Speaking of Ron, my goodness, he loved his footy, lived and breathed it. Saturday afternoons were sacred. Who do you follow, Barry? Barry is thrown completely. This is not in the playbook. He blinks. The footy? Yeah, the Bulldogs. Go the doggies. Marjorie, eyes lighting up with faux delight. The Bulldogs? Is that right? Well, isn't that a coincidence? My neighbor's grandson, lovely boy, plays for their VFL side. Ryan something, wears number 14. Do you know him? Barry, trapped, sweating slightly. Ryan, yeah, the name rings a bell. Tough player. Oh, he's a pocket rocket. What about that incident last Derby when their ruckman got reported for that sling tackle? Ron would have been furious, thought it was a fair bump. Barry, mumbling. Yeah, rough call. About the roof. Marjorie, her sweet tone finally evaporates, replaced by a calm, firm, no-nonsense voice, the mother voice. I don't think so, Barry. I think we're done here. You see, a real Bulldog supporter would know young Ryan's last name is Jones, and he wears number 41, and that ruckman was cleared by the tribunal, and a real tradesman would have his numbers ready and his hands dirty. Now, I've got Anzac biscuits in the oven. They're my granddaughter's favorite, and I'd hate to let them burn. You have a lovely day now, and maybe think about a new line of work, one that doesn't involve frightening old ladies. And just like that, the siege was over. No drama, no shouting, just the gentle, implacable application of experience. Barry's $3,400 fantasy dissolved in the face of an ABN request, a licensing query, and a question about the footy. Gladys, I would have just told him to rack off straight up. Oh, but where's the fun in that, Glad? You've got to let them hang themselves with their own rope. It's the principle. Ron always said, if they're in a tearing hurry, it's usually because they don't want you to think. Let's unpack Marjorie's flawless defense system, a system built not on apps, but on attitude. 1. The document dance. The ABN and license request is your first and strongest wall. It's bureaucratic, it's boring, and it's an absolute nightmare for fly-by-nighters. A legitimate tradie will have it on their shirt, their ute, their invoice. They'll recite it in their sleep. 2. The time warp tactic. Scammers are sprinters. You need to make it a marathon. Talk about the weather in 1983. Ask them to explain the same thing 3 times. Demand a written quote posted to you. You are not being difficult, you are being deliberate. You are breaking their rhythm. 3. The footy finale, the culture check. This is the genius part. It's a test of authenticity, of shared culture. In Australia, your footy team is part of your fingerprint. A real tradie, when asked, will not just state a team, they will lament last week's loss, curse the umpire, praise an unsung hero. They will have an opinion. Barry had nothing. His silence was as loud as a siren. And just like that, the siege was over. No drama, no shouting, just the gentle, implacable application of experience. Barry's $3,400 fantasy dissolved in the face of an ABN request, a licensing query, and a question about the footy. Gladys, I would have just told him to rack off straight up. Oh, but where's the fun in that, Glad? You've got to let them hang themselves with their own rope. It's the principle. Ron always said, if they're in a tearing hurry, it's usually because they don't want you to think. Marjorie's story isn't just about avoiding a scam. It's a celebration of a different kind of intelligence. The intelligence that comes from a life lived, bills paid, crises weathered, and characters met. It's about trusting the gut feeling that you get, not the one they're trying to sell you. In a world that often tries to make older adults feel technologically slow or out of touch, remember this: your bulwarks are stronger. Your horse sense is more valuable than any smartphone. Your lifetime of experience has given you the ultimate antivirus software for nonsense. So the next time a Barry or a Darren or a Shane rocks up with a story of impending doom and a bargain only available for the next 5 minutes, channel your inner Marjorie. Ask for the numbers. Talk about the footy. Make a cuppa. Take back the clock. Because in the end, the most secure vault isn't made of steel and sensors. It's made of common sense, a dash of healthy suspicion, and the unwavering belief that a person should be as good as their word and their license number. Good on you, Marjorie. You're a national treasure. Now, who's for a cuppa?